Last couple of days I've just been plodding with this leather wallet. As you can see, I've actually did a bit of colouring, etching some of the pieces. So basically we're up to the point now where we're going to start putting all the components together. And so you've got to be careful because obviously some things need to be stitched before others. Like for instance the straps that hold everything on will probably be one of the first things that we sew on, because once they're sewn and the backing's got in, we won't be able to get to those stitches and things. So you just got to sit together and work out what comes first and things. So that would probably be the first stitching. There would be the two tabs. Would have to go on there. I haven't actually put a hole in the end of the tabs yet for the press stud, because once I've got it all together, I don't want to preempt how long it needs to be and where it comes to on the wallet. So I don't want to cut it short or cut it thing. So once it's in situ and everything's, all the guts is in the middle, I'll then bend it over and work out exactly where it's got to go. I'll probably need to put in the press studs on this side. Probably after that we'll put this together. So let's put it together basically. So I've actually lined it with a bit of soft leather. Don't ask me why. I just thought it'd be nice to have some different types of leather in there. We then get the dark leather again on top for a bit of a contrast. And this side I've done a little bit differently. As you know, I was trying to etch the emblem into the thing. It was looking alright, but I was actually going to the internet and I actually found some key rings, and one of them was the emblem itself. So I had a brainstorm, and my idea is it's going to mount on this side. I'm going to back it with red and have that mounted in there like so. I placed it in here so you can sort of see. So that means that's probably one of the next things I have to do, is glue and stitch that to the right position on the red, and then glue those together, because that's just basically, the red's just a backing for that, so it bleeds through red, and then obviously clean up the edges afterwards. The other thing I've got to think about is on the edges, because we've got different types of leathers, and we're going to have at least 1, 2, 3, 4 layers on this side alone. Getting them all lined up so they don't interfere. There's not much pattern on the edges there on purpose, because once they're all together, to get it flush, I'll sew it together and then I'll cut them all to the same length and use my burnisher to burnish the ends, and may even need to put some black edge paint on there just to make it look Mickey Mouse, because there's different colours and different style leathers in there. So I've done most of this off camera because there's been so much, oh, what if that works? Oh, that might not work. And I didn't think that'd make good vision for a blog. So I've gone ahead and done most of the work and the thinking and things like that. I have taken several photographs, as you would have seen before. Of the progress. And probably what I'll do here is I'll place this bit of video in explaining where I'm at now, and then I'll have a photo series of how I got here, which might make more sense to you. So that's it. Then we all start stitching things on. So obviously we'll be stitching the middle bits first, because the last stitch will be the one around the outside, and so it's got to encompass a whole lot of different things. So that's it. We're basically almost done. Give it a buff. Make sure that the cards, when I sew them, I make sure that there's an actual card in where I'm sewing it, so the card actually does fit. Just a few tips there, and obviously I'll probably need a second card, because I'd want to probably do that with a card in both of those. So there's obviously a card slot there and a card slot behind. And that just made me think of something else I hadn't thought of. Normally on the higher one, if you put the card in, it will disappear all the way down. So I normally put a bit of a stop in here. So I've got some very fine leather or very fine nylon even. I'll sew a little pocket so that it doesn't stop it going all the way down, and you'll still just stop so you can actually pull the card out. But that's basically where we're at the moment. So let me get to it, and as I said, while I'm doing it, I'll show you the progress of photographs, and I'll be back in a while with an almost finished product. I'll stop at sort of sections and show you where I'm up to and what I've done, and soon we'll have a finished product. So let's go. The tooling I started I didn't like, so I cut it out, and I found a key ring to actually go into the area. You can see here that they've got the letters, which are the common alphabet, the MTP. I then started getting the colours together, making a nice olive drab, military style. Testing, and this is the final colour of all the pieces. And the 3 colours I used. I started sewing everything together, reinforced with some rivets, putting in the press studs, on both sides, trimming up the edges, and burnishing off the ones that aren't going to be stitched later on. Okay, so we've got a lot of the parts all ready to put together. One of the things, so I've actually glued that to the back there, and we're going to clean up the edges once we've got all the pieces together. So I'm going to start sewing these together like so. There's something I was just thinking, we've got the credit card slot at the back here. And obviously the credit card goes in, but you don't want it to disappear all the way down to the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I've marked on the back there how far down I want the credit card to go. So you can just get your finger on the thing there and pull it out. And so I'm going to rig up using some 100 mile an hour tape, a little system. So I've marked off there so that when you put the credit card in, it can't go past the tape. So that's where the tape goes to. Put the card in so that it's flush up to the top. Okay. Bit fiddly. Just want to get enough tape off. Alright, so where's my scissors gone? There they are. Just to cut that tape off there. So bringing this back, I want to situate this so this is going to have to sit there, find the corner, line the corners up. So we're going with the bottom corners because they're the ones that are going to fit. And so that Make sure the edge bits are lined up. That is where that's going to have to sit, and as you can see, it can't go past and lose it in the bottom. Obviously the other one goes on top. And I'm still to get some PVC or some clear window there. I'd almost forgotten about that, so I'm still working on trying to find some to fill in that. And similar to the other side, this other side also is going to have a credit card going in the back there, so that one's stuck on. This one's going to be the similar thing, so we don't want it to go past that point. So I've marked off that point. So I've marked off that point there. It's a line here. So again, we get some tape. When I sew it, I'm going to sew this side first and do the same thing. So I'm going to run the tape in, bend it over, and that'll stop that side also losing the credit card down. Okay. So I'll get back to it. I'll come back in a few minutes when I'm starting to sew. Okay, so here I've got the 3 bits of leather all lined up. Along the bottom there, it's all lined up on the corner, and basically where they're going to be sitting. Got them held in place with this clamp, and so that way I can actually go through and put a hole through all 3 pieces of leather and out to the back, so that when it's stitched together, it'll all be lined up. So I'm going to start stitching in the middle here, and then I'll do the same on the other side. Then once both pieces are in situ, obviously without the threads, I'm going to go around the outsides and do the bottom sides around. So these 2 are going to be the first one stitched in, and then after that around the edges. Once it's all stitched in, I can clean up the edges and burnish the edges so they're all mushed together. But that's what we're doing now. So I'm just putting these holes in. I've already gone through with the wheel and marked out where they should have been, so I can vaguely see them there. And just that, as long as that goes through directly down through all 3 pieces of leather, all the way to the bottom. And one more just there. I'm actually thinking I'm going to put an eyelet about here so we can actually put a chain on the wallet as well. But I'm going to go ahead now and try and stitch that without all this moving, and then we'll come back and do the other side. Okay. I just realised I'd made a mistake in gluing that completely to the back, because remember maybe at the beginning I said I was going to use that to put the money in. So back to the drawing board. I just happen to have some goat leather, some black goat leather, and so as I said, I've started attaching it to the goat leather, so that way we're going to have an extra piece of leather in there, and obviously not open the top, and that's where the money's going to go. So we've actually got the green backing in here, which worked out well. Got the green in the back here, and then the goat's leather on the front. It just changes the look a bit, goes from a green background to a black background, and if anything I actually think it looks better. So as I said before, you make mistakes, it only makes things better. You get your ingenuity happening, and you know. So that's where we're at. So as I see, I've just sewn that seam in there, so that's freestanding. You've got the little tape in the back there, as I explained before, so the credit cards can't go all the way down. And I've just gone through and done the same thing with this one, and I'm about to sew up this seam here, and I'm missing the bottom hole, obviously, because that bottom hole, as we go around the outsides and actually attach the sides, that's all going to be picked up then. So we're getting closer. So that's where we're at the moment. Made a mistake, fixed a mistake, got a better product. Always happens. Well, not always, but let's see. Started off by making the holes again. Once it's all cut, we trim off the excess on both the sides and the top. Right. I've just finished sewing around the edges of the wallet. It's all actually sewed up. What I've been doing, you can see these pieces here, where they overlap, they're not every bit of leather finished at the same time. So what I've done is got the Stanley knife out, and you sort of cut along to make them flush. Cut along the top there just to make them all the same, and just down this end here as well. So what I need to do now, I've got a bit of a, as you can see where I've taken the leather off is the raw leather. So I've just got a black heart line, just a bit of a cheat, and I'm just going to colour that in black. You can see also in there you've got the green, the red and the black leather, which I thought was a good effect, but we're going to burnish the edges here, so it's all going to mould together anyway. So I'm just going to give it a little bit of blackening on the edge, and on this end as well. You can see there, just to cover up that raw leather. I should actually be using edge paint, a little bit of black paint, but I'm going to actually cover it all in double a little bit later on, so that's going to settle it in anyway. Just to give it a bit of a colour there as well on the end. Okay, and then with our burnisher or wood slicker, depending on what you want to call it, instead of spraying, I don't want to get all this wet, so I do a little bit of saliva just to give it a bit of wet, and then just slick it And what happens, it all mushes together. And gives you a nice smooth edge. Yeah, a bit of friction in there to get it to polish up. You can see it sort of molds in together a bit there. Well, it's pretty bad. There we go. It's just getting nice and shiny and smooth. We'll just keep doing that. We'll give it a nice edge on the end there. Again, it's giving it a nice shiny edge there. Where's the light? Get a light effect off it. Might take a while to get a nice edge on it. Lots of friction there just to burnish the edges. And after a while, we've almost got our finished wallet. Closes up. We've got our two keepers on the end there. Basically that's it. There is our wallet. Around the other side. Open up again. You've got the ID area here. Place for the credit cards. It's a bit sticky, that one. I'll just open it up a bit. Sits in nicely. And we've got our emblem here, and he's got his initials here. I've even got the initials here in MTP, his initials, and then in Covenant letters MTP. There we go. 98% finished wallet. I'm going to do a bit more burnishing in the edges, but that's basically it. It's taken us a while. I have taken photographs along the way, so my plan is to do a bit of a voiceover, as you probably would know by now, because this is the end of the video. So, and there we go, one wallet, all done. Well, bar the shouting. So as I said, if you want to follow along to our next projects, if you like what you saw, just need to hit the like button, subscribe. Doug's got a few more projects coming up in the shed with the postie bike supermotos. So yeah, follow along, tell your friends, and that's us. Hooroo.